Looks like we have one person. For those of you who are listening to this podcast after the day that it broadcasted live on YouTube, I do have a viewer. One. I wonder if that viewer has any comments. I would certainly be glad to talk with you about anything that you've got, any comments that you might have at all about this move of UCLA and USC. If you happen to be a UCLA or a USC fan, welcome to the Big Ten, and enjoy those $100+ million TV revenue checks that will soon be hitting your school's bank account once you guys become full-fledged members, which, by the way, hopefully they treat you the exact same way they treated us. And that is make us wait like 5 years before we actually got the full TV revenue checks, because heaven forbid there be, I don't know, competitive balance. I don't know. Maybe I'm being a little cynical. In fact, I know I'm being a little cynical because I absolutely love college football. And in many ways, I hate what college football has become in the last, especially the last 8 to 10 years. And no, in case the person watching happens to be a fan of a school from a certain conference down south, no, this isn't SEC jealousy or SEC envy or any of that stuff. I could care less that, the SEC has been the dominant brand in college football. I mean, when you've got the ESPN backing, of course you're going to be dominant, or at least perceived as such. But, college football is not college football anymore, except for the teams that aren't going to be invited to the big dance. And I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of them. In fact, I think there's going to be some teams that are in the quote unquote big dance now that may end up getting kicked to the curb. The Rutgers of the world. Well, maybe not. There is that New York TV market that they told us was the big reason why the Big Ten brought Rutgers on board. There's also the Syracuse market that you're hearing a little bit of. Well, at least I heard it on a podcast anyway, that one person was opining that perhaps Syracuse wouldn't be a bad move because a lot of the people in working at sports TV networks came from Syracuse. So why wouldn't you want to cozy up to those guys? But is there a competitive reason to do that? I can see Notre Dame. Heck, I can see Washington and Oregon making a good fit. But who would be that fourth team to get the Big Ten to 20? Who would be that fourth team? Maybe I should throw something out there. How about, I know you're going to laugh. You ready? Kansas. Right? Why not Kansas? Here's why. Here's why I think it's a good fit. The Big Ten is arguably the best basketball conference in the country, except for maybe the ACC, the Duke, North Carolina thing. But team for team, pound for pound, the Big Ten is pretty good in basketball, and it would be a natural fit for Kansas geographically to join the Big Ten, as well as bring their basketball brand to an already well-established Big Ten brand. And Lance Leipold is a good football coach. I mean, hey, he beat Casey Thompson in Texas last year after Casey threw, 6 touchdowns and ran for 2 more, or something crazy like that. So you never know. Maybe a Kansas would fit. Notre Dame fits. Washington, Oregon, okay. Yeah, I wouldn't mind playing those guys every year, but man, the Big Ten goes to 20 teams and it splits into 5-team pods. Who's going to be in with Nebraska? I mean, geographically, it makes sense that if Washington, Oregon, and of course USC and UCLA would naturally be geographically set up in a pod with Nebraska, which basically makes the yearly rivalry with Iowa go away. And quite frankly, that'd piss me off. We need to beat those guys. So I don't want that to happen. But could you imagine a pod where Nebraska plays Washington, Oregon, UCLA, and USC every single season? Might make for some good football. But I don't know about those late night West Coast games. I don't think Nebraska would do well on, the Big Ten late night or whatever the crap that Pac-12 stuff is that they do. So I don't know. Still don't have any comments yet. do have 2 viewers. For those of you listening to this, I am live streaming this on YouTube because I don't necessarily like the sound of my voice, nor do I think I have a whole lot to contribute, but what the heck? It's fun, and it's been a while. It's been a while since Generation Red made its appearance on YouTube. I wish Scott were here, but he is vacationing down where it's warm, hanging out by the beach. So good for him. Hope he's enjoying his time away. And anyway,